I do want to talk about these candidates, though, that are running for office for the Republicans that want to be the president other than Donald Trump. They have been really, really, really quiet, or perhaps they're talking, but nobody's listening. We know that Tim Scott just lost a big super PAC, says, why are we spending money on Tim Scott when the polls, the focus groups, talking to folks on the ground, everything shows that the base of the party is solidly in Donald Trump's column, and spending this money is not moving them. So where are the candidates, and what do they do to gain some relevance in this crisis where literally, you know, Israel is going to be on the news for the foreseeable future?
As I was getting ready to come in to be on the show today, I was thinking about how folks like us that are watching the news a lot, that are watching this coverage, that are really immersed in each of the events as they happen. For many of us, I think about 7 years ago, a word started getting used in our coverage that doesn't mean anything anymore. That word was unprecedented. Right. And the ways that we talked about how we've never seen this happen with the candidate. We've never seen this happen with the nominee. We've never seen this happen with the president-elect. We've never seen this happen with the president. We've never seen this happen with an impeached president. We've never seen this happen with the twice impeached president. You know what I mean? Like, we've never seen this happen with an indictment. We've never seen this happen before. Right. We've never seen January 6th happen before. And as we're now approaching this moment where we're looking at a pro tem and thinking like, well, do we just give him more power? What do we do, right? We're in these scenarios time and time again with Republicans having power. And it's like, how many times can we have conversations about like the way that y'all are operating this doesn't work, right? And how many times can we say that to voters? And when I think about these candidates and the ways that they're going up against Donald Trump, they're going up against a candidate that is so unprecedented. We've never seen a candidate like Donald Trump before, right? And like, we've never seen a former president running for re-election under 4 indictments after 2 impeachments, who's going to be sitting in court, or you know what I mean? Like you mentioned earlier.
Can't get to his deposition.
He can't get through a deposition. He can't get through a day in court to make it to the campaign trail, right? And like, as you were talking earlier about all of these different things that are coming up for Donald Trump, it's like, how are they going to compete against a candidate who's sitting in court on the news all day? How are they going to compete against a candidate who is then going to a rally and talking about being on trial? And as we're looking at super PACs, I'm like, the super PAC should have been asking themselves in the first place, why were you supporting Tim Scott? I don't know who the Tim Scott voter is. I don't know who the Mike Pence voter is. I don't know who the people are who are telling these people like, oh my God, you're going to be the next president of the United States. I don't see it.
Well, Jarrett, these people thought that they could, you know, propel one of these candidates, and that one of these candidates would catch fire. Remember, it was supposed to be Ron DeSantis. He was supposed to be the alternative to Donald Trump. We don't even hear his name. I had a little brain freeze. Like, what was that guy's name? Because we have not seen him, not heard from him, and he's polling so poorly. And his campaign has changed strategy so many times. Now, Chris, his strategy is to hit Donald Trump hard. So he came out, I'm not going to attack Donald Trump. I'll just attack Joe Biden. I'll attack, you know, the American people. I'll attack Black people and books and everything except Donald Trump. That didn't turn out so well for him. Now, at the 11th hour, you know, 2 months before they go into Iowa, he is being pretty aggressive about Donald Trump, but nobody's listening. Nobody's listening. It's like too little, too late, Chris. So Jarrett is like, why did they put the money in these candidates in the first place? But I do think there was some hope that one of these candidates could defeat Donald Trump. They were wrong. You're a strategist. So tell Jarrett he was right, that they were stupid. They shouldn't have put their money there in the first place.
Yeah, do what she said.
Right. Optimist.
Oh, look, I wish I had been a strategist on this one. But then again, as I always say, I'm never in the business to give Republicans good ideas or tell them what to do. I enjoy watching them collapse upon themselves. And honestly, Tim Scott's super PAC was probably ran by his girlfriend. So that's probably where the idea came from.
Oh, wait a minute. It's a female girlfriend?
Oh, wow. Wow. I'm going to go.
But she's a good Christian girl, too, as far as I hear. You know, the situation is, you know, Ron DeSantis, all of them. You were running for president. You're not running against Joe Biden because you haven't gotten a Republican nomination. You need to run against the person you're running against, and that's Donald Trump. You can't make that decision under 100 days before Iowa. So you've already you decide your campaign is not going to be of any value. So, yeah, nobody's listening to you because you have no chance. I have a better chance of winning the Republican nomination for president this year than any of these other people other than Donald Trump.
Okay, so I know you don't like giving Republicans advice, and I'm not going to ask you to, definitely not free advice. But there must have been some strategy they thought in not attacking Donald Trump early on. Like, let me win over the MAGA base, although it doesn't really make a lot of sense because the MAGA base wants Donald Trump. They don't want a clone of Donald Trump. So I don't know, maybe the strategy had, it was illogical from the beginning. But I'm going to give some credit, Jarrett and Chris, to the people that at least tried to defeat Donald Trump. Now, they did not put forth good candidates in many cases, Tim Scott being one of them, Mike Pence being one of them, Ron DeSantis, you can kind of go down the list. But somebody has to take this guy out. And maybe it's going to be these lawsuits. Maybe it's going to be these Black prosecutors, because I don't think it's going to be these guys and one woman that's running against him in the Republican primary.